This is the second part of the lecture about Rome moving from a republic to an empire. And at this point, after Julius Caesar had died, after the civil wars between Mark Antony and Octavian, Octavian takes power. This occurred in 31 BCE. This is the beginning of what historians call the imperial period. After Augustus takes power, he says that Rome is again a free republic and that the Senate is the most powerful group. However, the real power was in Augustus' hands. He ruled the republic as a military dictator. He refused kingly titles, though. He called himself the princeps, or first citizen. He wanted to distance himself from any relationship to kings, because remember, the Romans had overthrown their king very proudly back in 509 BC and said they would never have a king again, much as Americans have said that they overthrew their king, King George III, in 1781, and we never want to have a king again. So Octavian ruled, but he ruled as one man with all the power. And with that power, he was able to get things done for the people. In his reign, Octavian reformed Rome's taxation system. In other words, the rich paid more, the poor paid less, and Octavian's people used that to develop a network of roads, a postal system, or couriers, a large army, which was under Octavian's control, along with a Praetorian Guard, which many of you will remember from the movie about the Roman Empire, Gladiator. The Praetorian Guard is the black guard of the emperor, all dressed in black uniforms. They were very scary to the Roman people. They created an official police and firefighting force. You might remember that earlier, the firefighting was done as the fire happened, and a person would say, you either pay me now or your house burns down. And often Rome was threatened by fires and other types of disasters. Octavian helped to stem that. He rebuilds much of the city, and it's a period of great prosperity. This period of great prosperity has a name as well. It's called the Roman Peace, and this is from the monument to Augustus that celebrates that peace. The Ara Pacis, or the Era of Peace, shows the Mother Earth holding the world at peace through Roman civilization. And that's what the Romans were able to convince the Mediterranean world was in their best interest, because Rome would hold the peace and keep out the bad guys, while the people gave up their freedoms slowly over time. This Pax Romana under Augustus is sometimes referred to as the Pax Augusta, and it's going to run from about 31 BCE all the way through the 2nd century to about 200 AD. Augustus showed that peace by closing the gates of Rome, just to show this, that Rome was a safe place, that people no longer need to be worried. This wasn't an absence of war. Much like peace today, wars are going on in the periphery. Things are going on outside the United States. However, there was general peace within the city of Rome. Opponents had been taken and beaten down. Triumphs had occurred that allowed people to come home, celebrate themselves, celebrate their great victories, and bring riches to Rome. Rather than an absence of warfare, they could get wealth and honor, and the Romans were able to convince the people of the Mediterranean world that this was in their best interest. The era of peace shows that propaganda, the ara pacis, shows that propaganda that Rome used in order to show the world that in fact it was best to be civilized under Rome than to be in chaos under others. Now, some key terms that you need to know as you go through your study. One is Augustus himself. He's the founder of the Roman Empire, not Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was a Roman general. He was a statesman. He was a consul. He was very successfully. He waged and won a civil war, but he was also assassinated. The others here and the terms here are important for you to know in that regard. You should be able to use the terms and tell a story. The last set of terms include the term first citizen in Latin. It's a title. This becomes where we get the term prince. The word princeps, or first among everyone. That describes what Rome said it was. I want you to think about how you might relate that to the world today. Are there people that believe that a single ruler would be the best way to rule? Are there others who've adopted systems like republics, democracies, oligarchies, and other types of governments who believe that a few or the people need to rule? What in your mind is the best system of government? I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. I apologize for any breaks in the discussion or in the conversation. As we get better at these, we'll work on them together. Thank you.